Matt,
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Young Member Council Professional Development Call. We're really excited and honored today to have Chief Master Sergeant Retired Jacob Dunbar as our guest speaker, so thank you for joining us. A couple quick admin announcements, and I know we'll follow up with a few things at the end on how to get the recording and whatnot. Just wanted to encourage you throughout the discussion to please send your questions. There's a Q&A box on the bottom right side of your screen. Feel free to type in any questions you have throughout the conversation, and Chief Dunbar can either read those as he goes, or we'll have folks to facilitate some question and answers towards the end of the call. So again, thank you for joining us. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today real quick, but before I do that, actually, I also wanted to thank our Young Member Programs team, specifically Jeff DeGuid, our Vice Chair of Programs, for putting this together today, and Nicole Matthews from SAME headquarters for helping facilitate the connection as well. And with that, I'm very honored to introduce Chief Master Sergeant Retired Jacob Dunbar. Chief Dunbar is the Section Chief of Facilities Operations at the International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C. In that capacity, he directly manages facilities operations and outsourced services for more than 3 million square feet of real estate. Prior to his retirement from the Air Force, he was the Headquarters Air Force Special Operations Command Installations and Mission Support Chief Enlisted Manager. In that capacity, he served as the Senior Enlisted Advisor to the Installations and Mission Support Director on matters impacting more than 550 enlisted civil engineers, providing support to Special Ops Forces worldwide. Chief Dunbar was born in St. Thomas, Jamaica, and grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He entered the Air Force at the age of 17 and retired after 28 years of dedicated military service. His military background includes assignments in Georgia, South Korea, Japan, New Mexico, Egypt, Virginia, Arkansas, Germany, Florida, basically all over the world in all sorts of capacities, including Squadron Superintendent, International Instructor, MAGCOM Inspector, and of course he's deployed in support of Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. Just tremendous, tremendous service and experience. He has vast experience in engineering, construction, facility management, sustainment, and building operations. He's also a certified facility manager and licensed contractor, and has provided consulting services and mentoring to various institutions and individuals. We are very, very honored, Chief, to have you on the call today. Really interested and excited for your perspective on professional development. And actually, before I turn it over to you, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our Doha Field Chapter. We have Master Sergeant Amanda Wakefield and Senior Airman Schaefer out there. They were trying to connect, and I think Senior Airman Leonard Schaefer was actually going to do the introduction as well. So we're really excited about our Young Member Council Enlisted Committee and the tremendous momentum that they're building in SAME. And we wish we could add them on the phone today, but we're glad they're listening in. And thanks to Senior Airman Schaefer for being willing to do this introduction. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Dunbar. Sir, thank you for your time and for being here today.
Well, sir, thank you for the introduction. And Jeff, thank you for working and putting this thing together. Nicole, Ann, thanks for pitching in and your support. I just want to also say thanks to the SAME Young Members Council for taking time out of your schedule to listen to me today. I think this is, from what the information I've gotten, this is a distinguished group of professionals, service members, civilian students, with various backgrounds. And I just want to thank you again. This is a great opportunity for me, and I really cherish it when I get the chance to, I would say, give back. When you leave the military sometimes, some people leave, and you don't get this chance, but I do cherish the opportunity. Today I want to talk to you about something near and dear to me, which is professional development. I believe it is very important for two main reasons. One, for ourselves, to develop ourselves, and two, to advance our community. That means everyone gets better. My topic today is a reason for professional development, and that is developing ourselves and advancing our communities. But before I get into my brief, I just want to let you know I do not plan to bore you with some deep philosophies today or a bunch of data, metrics, or its historical significance, but rather to provide some perspective that may help or provide insight to you on your professional journey. Before we begin, I thought it would be appropriate to get some perspective on professional development from a few well-known achievers. Arvid Firestone, founder of Firestone Tire Company, and his message to us, his perspective is, as related to professional development, the growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership. John Wooden, who led UCLA to 10 NCAA championships, and he said, "It's what you learn after you know it all that counts." He also said, "Success comes from knowing that you did your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming." And Vince Lombardi, who led the Green Bay Packers to 5 NFL championships, and his words to us is, "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence." And finally, Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa, and he says, "Education is a great engine for personal development." So as you may see, weaved in the quotes are words like learning, growth, development, education, leadership, personal drive, attainable, continuous, engine, knowing, calling, and all of this to lead us to perfection, to excellence, to success, to be our best, and to be great. This is inspiring, purposeful, rewarding. Professional development embodies all these things. And in the center of professional development is people, you and I. I believe professional development is about, and it's better explained by answering 4 questions. 1, what is professional development? 2, who is responsible for professional development? 3, why professional development? And how do I develop myself? So you say, what is professional development? I think it's a journey of improving ourselves, building our skills, broadening our experiences, and gaining qualification for personal advancement. Again, we're right in the middle of it. And from Macmillan's definition, it's a process of obtaining skills, qualification, and experience. And that's all to enhance our careers. But my view, as I said, it's a lifelong journey where we elect to grow professionally, to improve ourselves, and to advance ourselves. But though our primary target is often self-development, our efforts translate into something greater. Just like as us military personnel, we look into the purpose. We look to achieve something greater, achieve the mission. So social responsibility at the end game is what we're aspiring to do, to make our communities greater. And when I refer to communities, it's our circle of influence, our families, our friends, our neighborhoods, our communities, our workplace, our institutions, association, and our our nation. The bottom line is helping ourselves to help the greater community. Bear with me a minute here. The slides. Okay. So who's responsible for professional development? That's you and I. It is a team sport. And it relates to being an example, setting an example. It's about emphasizing the need to use a development cycle, to have a plan, to take an action. It's about setting the tone. It's about walking the walk, talking the talk. Do what we say. It's about continually developing and emphasizing professional development to be better technicians, better managers, supervisors, parents, and ambassadors, paving the way for the future. It's about ensuring and being fully engaged in development of those who will take our place by mentoring, by training, coaching, and guiding. As leaders, these are our primary responsibilities. It's about setting a good example and positively representing our communities. As being active in professional organizations as SAME and in our community, create the results we expect. It's about emphasizing and reinforcing the messaging, linking professional organizations as SAME with our personal advancement in social responsibility. This is very important. This is what leads us to our purpose. It's about creating opportunities that exposes others to professional organizations early in their careers by conducting briefings, by meetings, seminars, events, and being a mentor. I can say, being in the military, I was not so fortunate as most of the younger folks there. I learned about SAME when I was about 17 years in the military, and that was unfortunate. To me, that was too late. But you and I, as leaders, should cultivate that interest right now to set our direct reports, our colleagues, our subordinates, our troops, our friends, and relatives up for success. So we ask, why professional development? We are central to the development and the advancement of our world. We got to know that we play an intricate part in improving things, making people better, and infusing change. If we do not do our part, the mission could fail, as related in military terms. Professional development requires that we come with an attitude that we are all in. Our role is critical. As you look at this picture right here, as you can see, social responsibility is the big circle. That is our major purpose. That is what we're ultimately achieving, whether we embrace it or not. We're right in the middle of it, personal advancement. So first, why? Why professional development? For personal advancement, to help ourselves, improve our reputation, respect our worth, enhance our skills, our education, our experiences, achieve our goals, advance our career, grow personally and professionally, prepare for a second career. Like most people retiring or separating for the military, get ready for life after the military, setting ourselves up for better employment, achieve financial and career ambitions, higher paying job, higher positions to support our families. Our second why is social responsibility, which I believe is the most important because we are helping the greater community. This is where we recognize as value, as gain, where people see us as a capability. We're providing capacity. We're seen as a asset and a benefit. And how that relates to what we do every day, we're ensuring public safety and trust, right, by our qualification or degrees or license or certification. That indicates to the public that they can trust us. That's our designation to say we're qualified to do what we do. Engage in people development and knowledge sharing. This is where we go out and mentor people, teach, provide advice and counsel, which is very important as a leader. How we contribute to innovation and technological advancement. What our input in research, discoveries, invention, and development. And I've said this a lot of times, and we can see it all over. Several inventions out there, new technology, new innovation. This doesn't come about by accident. This comes about by people trying to learn, bettering themselves, developing new things for the betterment of society. And that's where all of us comes in. And also get involved in our communities by volunteering, stewardship, and service. This is where we can provide benefit. We can show our skills. We can show our worth. We can help others, help out our community, and provide the greatest impact. So we ask, and you may ask, how do I develop myself? It seems easy. Go out and take a couple classes, get some certifications, but that's not the gist of it. First, we got to chart the direction. Where are we going? What are our goals? We got to plan for it. We got to take action. Keep learning. This is a continual, improving your education, your skills, your experiences. Tap into your Mecca. And this is one thing that is missing, I think, and people don't understand it. Your Mecca is the place where you go to get insight, the deepest insight about your career, about your profession. Places like SAME and other professional organizations, that's where you go. There's a lot of resources available. Some of the smartest people are in those organizations. Research is done for you. You don't have to do it yourself. People who have been there, done that, is in these organizations that can help you to get to your personal goals. Likewise, taking ownership for our development. Invest in ourselves. That is important. Oftentimes, you see people looking for others to help them when they should be helping themselves. The bottom line, when it comes to professional development, We got to do it. It got to be done. It is a personal thing, developing ourselves so we can better help others. And then when we go through the cycle, then we got to figure out what is missing. The piece in the middle. The piece in the middle is the gap. That is the place where when you go through everything else, there is something missing. And normally when we start out, we have a plan and we develop a direction. What happens somewhere down the road, we fall off course or we take another route. And I see it in the military a lot. Someone start out in a career and they figure, okay, this degree here will help me, something totally unrelated to what they do. And that's okay if that's the path you want to take. When you decide to change career. But if you are heading down a path and you're taking a different direction, oftentimes you're not going to get there. So the gaps in the middle is to fill in those gaps is very important. So as we chart the direction, I talked about the goals. Now, first of all, we got to decide what we want to do. We got to start somewhere. In the first place, it starts with what interests you. Sometimes we're in a career and it doesn't interest us, right? Maybe that's not the path we want to take. What is important to us? What we're good at. Those are the places we start. Start with those things. And then find a reason. Find your reason and let it drive you, right? Why do you want to do this, right? Most people haven't figured that out, but we need to figure that out. Professional development is important enough that we need to find a reason to drive us to get there, whether it's your family, whether it's a career aspiration, whether it's making more money. We just got to find out why we do this. And also have a plan. The path with a clear milestone. Focus and follow through on that plan. Read and learn. I can't emphasize this enough. It is important that people soak up as much information as they can about their profession. Be good at what we do. Then find a mentor, an advisor, a confidant, somebody you can trust, somebody you can trust to help you and guide you along the way, and gain a native understanding of your profession. Get to know your world. So I said, start learning, continue learning. This is a continuous process. This is where we, hone our skills, education, your experience. You begin to shape. Seek out relevant learning. Oftentimes, we get excited about professional development and get lost along the way because we miss the reason why we started. Our goals get mixed up. So once we have the path, follow the path. Align your developmental goals, professional and personal. That is very important, that you're going down the straight route. I know in military terms, sometimes we don't think about professional development until we're about to retire from the military, and that's the wrong time to do it. It begins now. Vary your learning. Yes, you need to have a broad perspective of what you do. And commit and pursue continuing education. Read, study continuously, be hungry, grasp the full essence of your profession. I cannot overemphasize that enough. That's what moves you from being average to become the best. The next thing is seeking out your Mecca. And as I said before, this is a place where you go for help to gather the deepest insight about your profession. SAME and other institutions provide this. This is where you realize your contribution. And this can come in many different forms, whether you're doing seminar, conferences, training, whether you're volunteering, you find your work where you can learn from the best in your profession. You can gain insight, inspiration, and exposure. Some of the smartest people are in these organizations. Learn from them. Use the resources you have. This is where you learn the most current innovation and get information, education, and technical and professional support. Most of the research for whatever you want to learn or your choosing profession is already done. SAME does this. IFMA or whatever organization, professional organization, they do intense research. Use it to your advantage. This is where you learn to improve your skills, whether continuous education, and in various different forms. And I like what an accomplished CEO and writer, Mary Spire, said in her book, The Game Changer. She said, you have to go to your Mecca to truly get the native understanding of your profession. This is where you get the inspiration and help to achieve uncommon success, to be the best you that you can be. And I really believe that. I've benefited greatly from professional organization. I've learned so much. I mean, even in my current job, for advice, for support, it is really crucial. This part, this is a big takeaway. This is where you go, and I would say, I call it the big superstore. Everything you could possibly want or need in various choices and opportunity is here. You just got to grab a hold of it and take it with you. And exercising ownership for continuous development. I call it the aha moment, where you grasp of responsibility, where you take pride in ownership, to fully understand your responsibility relating to professional development, taking action to develop yourself and improving your skills and ultimately improving others. The buck stops at us, you and I. Work hard at continuous improvement, being the best at what we do. We own that. Being accountable to ourselves and others for continuous development. Exercising extreme ownership over our lives. Like Nike said, just do it. Develop yourself. Professional development, when fully understood and practiced as part of a life's journey, often provides a perspective of extreme ownership. And as depicted by Navy SEAL Jocko Willink and Leif Babin in the book Extreme Ownership, where we take responsibility not just for our own success, but also for the betterment of a greater community we belong to. And as I talked about the gaps earlier, and I said this is an important aspect, because once we're going through the developmental cycle, we should stop and assess where we are, right? Fill in the gaps, answering what is missing and where to focus. This is very important to know where the gaps are and addressing them, else we could be wasting our time. We need to know where we're going and what we need to get there. As from my experiences, direction, learning, and ownership in our developmental cycle are often inherent in most professional development approaches, whether it's military, private sector, or public sector. However, most companies try not to promote any specific professional development organization. And this has been a huge gap in the development. But what we have to realize in these instances, in the areas where our companies or our organization doesn't provide that, this is where we ought to make a personal investment in ourselves. And as I conclude here, I want to just do a little recap. You know, the essence of professional development is basically answering and acting upon those four questions: the what, the who, the why, and the how. And it's about you and I. On that journey, we're setting the direction, we're start learning, we're tapping into our Mecca, that big superstore, and taking all the tools with us that we need, and we're taking ownership for our lives and our profession. And as we go and through the cycle, we have to reflect and assess, where are the gaps? What am I missing to get where I want to be? And fill those gaps. And ultimately, as I said, we're in the middle of this circle, achieving personal advancement. But the greater circle is our social responsibility. Our social responsibility, our responsibility to advance the greater community. And by doing that, we're showing our value, we're showing our benefit, we're showing our gain, we're showing our capability, we're seen as an asset, and we become, and we're showing capacity. As I said, the bottom line through all this is we're ensuring safety and trust in the public and the people around us. We are sharing ourselves, providing development, mentorship, advice. We're contributing to innovation and technology. And at the same time, we're improving our communities. We're being involved in our communities. This whole circle, again, we're right in the middle of it. And it is very important that we step up to the plate and improve ourselves, develop ourselves. So a reason for professional development, as I said, it involves you and I taking action, ownership for learning and improving ourselves. It's about helping ourselves to help the greater community. It allows us to contribute positively to seen as value. The greater community expect our best. We should not limit ourselves to just, we should be much more. That means you and I continually advancing our education, our skills, our experiences, our qualifications in order to perform at our best. In whatever we do, we should choose to be our best. I used to listen to military members before they retire, and they would say, all I want to be is a Walmart greeter. There is nothing wrong with that, but why limit ourselves to being to just when we can be much more? So even if a person chooses to be a Walmart greeter, be the best Walmart greeter. Don't be just, be the best. Our communities expect that of us. We should choose to be the best military member, engineer, or Walmart greeter, or whatever we choose to be. SAME provides those opportunities. And Young Members Council, my challenge to you is to develop your developmental cycle. Go through that cycle. Know your purpose, developing yourself, and your responsibility to the greater community. What you do here is very important. It's very important to you, and it's very important to everyone around you. And some parting shots as I finish up this brief. These are some takeaways. Find your path. Know where you want to go and how to achieve it. Read. Be a avid reader. Books, manuals, journals, white papers. Join or become active in professional organizations as SAME. This is where you truly realize your greatness if you use and take advantage of the opportunities. Capitalize on the resources, the opportunities offered by these professional organizations. Take advantage of webinars, demos, conferences. There's a lot of free education and information out there relating to your field. Soak it up. Absorb it and act upon it. Invest in yourself. Pursue education and experience the further you go. Never afraid to invest in yourself. It will well worth it. It will pay off. I guarantee you that. Take every opportunity to learn and polish your skills, regardless how insignificant it may seem. Practice your skills and techniques. The best place to do this is volunteer, internship, hands-on experiences, demonstration, and even competition. It's no sense to have skills. Yes, we can know all the theory there is, but if we don't know to do the work or what we're asked to do, it's not going to worth anything. So this is very crucial. And as I share with you today, I hope you walk away from this experience today with some perspective on professional development that may help you personally and professionally. Thank you very much for your time. And I'll go to look at some of the questions here. Hopefully you have some questions so I can look at them and answer it. I see one question here. What are your thoughts on finding a mentor, and what qualities in a person would you recommend looking for in choosing a mentor? I believe a mentor when trying to find a mentor, you have to find somebody who has the same passion as you do. Yes, there's a lot of people maybe in your field, but they don't have the same goals, the same mindset, the same values that you have. You have to have somebody who you feel comfortable with, not just professionally. Mentorship is about developing a relationship with a person. And it doesn't stop. It's not an event. It's a process. It's over time. It continually builds. You install. It's a two-way stream. You learn from the person, and they learn from you. So it is a relationship. And the qualities I look for is a person who is, one, humble, who is giving, who is caring, who have a passion for what they do. I can remember as an airman and growing up, I met this one guy named Roger Knight, and he had a true, he's still my mentor today. He had a passion for what he does. He loved what he does, and he passed it on to me, and we learned a lot from each other over the years. So you have to have that type of relationship.
Sir, this is Ann. There's another question that just came in. I don't know if you saw that one or not. Because I think that it's important to create a timeline which will help you manage all things you need to do to reach your targets. Chart the path. Thank you for your time. Great takeaways.
Okay, thank
Comment
you.
from one of our. And then we had another one that came in via email, if you don't mind.
Okay.
After your extremely successful 28-year career in the Air Force, you have transitioned very well out of the military. Can you talk a little about your transition, including any lessons learned or things that have served you particularly well in your new career?
I believe, let's talk about the transition piece first. The transition starts now. I've been getting ready to transition from the military, I would say, since I was a staff sergeant, early on in my career. And of course, I had a mentor who taught me that whatever you do in your military career, it should line up with what you want to do in the civilian sector. So whether you're trying to get certifications, whether you're trying to get education, whatever you're trying to do needs to line up with that. And also, I had various opportunities in the civil sector prior to leaving the military. I had opportunities to teach at various colleges, teach for various companies, and that's about also using the skills and talents that you have while you're in the military, which helps that transition once you make it. For me, the transition wasn't very hard because I was preparing for it. So my advice is to start preparing now. Align what you do in the military to what you intend to achieve in civilian life. And as for in my current job, my job is a little bit different because I work what I had to adjust to, because I come into an environment where there's a lot of cultures. There's 188 different countries that works in the buildings that I maintain and operate every day. And that was a challenge because you got to be adjusted to various cultures and languages. And yes, during the military, you get a chance to visit different countries, but here it's a lot different. So one thing you have to be more collaborative. That is to learn from others. Be willing to be humble. You know, yes, maybe I was a chief in the military, but here, you know, I can't use a chief card. I got to be like everyone else and learn, you know, even though I'm in charge of people, but they've been here longer than me. So I had to humble myself and learn from others and, you know, grow up and establish myself. And that's one of the hardest things for you to do, to start somewhere and start building as you go and start establish yourself in the organization and get comfortable with what you're doing.
Wonderful. I think we have time for at least one more question, if you don't mind. This is a great question. It came in through the web. Often we are blind to our own weaknesses. Who would be the best at helping us identify the weaknesses that we need to focus on eliminating or improving?
Well, you know, I think that's a good question, because that is relative. My vectoring is my wife, because she's not afraid to tell me where I'm falling short, and oftentimes, you know, we tend to gravitate to people who we like. I say find people that are different from you, you know, and learn from them. They might provide a perspective that you never thought of. Sometimes we get into what I call team cohesion, and we get stagnant because we like the people we hang around or we associate with, but sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone and learn from other people who are very different from us, or who have very different thought process from us. And I think even in this job that I'm in right now, that is one thing that has allowed me to grow, because there is a lot of people here who have various different perspectives. Some that, you know, when I was in the military, I probably wouldn't even think about that perspective. But now I have to open my mind, and I can see where those thoughts and ideas is relevant. So I think it's important to, I say, step out of your comfort zone and try to associate with, bring some people in who has different perspective from you. The people who are those devil advocates, those are the people sometimes you learn the most from.
Wonderful, thank you. I think, sir, one of the neatest things about today has been that the variety of people on the call right now, you know, completely different places in our careers and even just our type of careers, but so many of the things that you have discussed we can relate to, you know, regardless of where you are in your career or what you do. So very, very beneficial. I think, did anyone else have any other questions? I don't think any others have come on through the web. Jeff, are you on? Did you want to close us out as we're getting close to the time?
Yes. Thank you, Ann, for moderating the questions, and thank you, Chief Dunbar, for your time and your presentation to our council. We truly appreciate it. The information has been very good, and looking at the quality of the questions that are coming in, your information is helping a lot of us. So we appreciate that. Just to let everybody know that a recording of our webinar will be made available. Everybody who registered through Eventbrite will receive an email notification with a link when it's available. A copy of Chief Dunbar's slides are also available. A link for the download is included in the Eventbrite reminder email that was sent out this morning. And just so that everybody's aware too, next Thursday at noon is the next Young Member Council monthly call. Everybody is welcome on this call, not just council members. We invite you to come join us the 9th of March, starting at 12 noon Eastern, and we'll look at more ways to get young members involved and provide additional opportunities for professional development. Also, when this call ends, you'll receive an email with a link to a survey. We'd ask that you complete this survey. Just take 2 minutes. There's like 10 questions. We'd love your feedback on this call and topics for future calls. and that'll help guide the next calls as we go into the rest of 2017. Thank you again, everybody, for attending, and thank you, Chief Dunbar.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks everyone for taking the time to listen to me. I wish you the best on your professional journey.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good